Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my beautiful bead journey. Welcome if this is your first time joining me. So my name is Willow, and recently I done a video on a lot of these beautiful little chokers that were either gifted to me or made for me or were purchased as a gift for me. And I'm redoing them one by one. The reason being is because they've gotten a little bit too snug and I still want to be able to enjoy them. So we've already done one. This is the second. This is the moss agate. And I have this melody of green seed beads that I'm going to use to extend this here. So this is going to be the same, just the part that's in the back and covered by my hair will be extended, and that's here. So take a screenshot if you like, and we will get ready to bead. So I'm moving my tray back into place. Let me make sure I've got it into focus. Beautiful. And the way we're going to do this is we will begin here. So let's cut here. Where are my cutters? And I am going to reuse the same toggle bolt that this one has. Wow, that is some tough wire. I might have to get out the beak set. So let's go with these. That is not wanting to cut at all. Let's see. So I am going to use the same toggle. Now I have to cut off the crimper bead. And then these should fall right into place. So I'm going to take this out to here. Now, if you can see here, at one time, there was a charm on here. I don't ever remember it having a charm. So, but it could have, and I could have lost it. But I will not be putting a charm back on it. I don't think this necklace needs a charm. But we do know that is center point. So with that being said, I am going to take this little piece off. Now I have these left over from my last necklace, and I know they're not exactly the same, but they will work at the end should I need them. And beautiful. Now to take off this, the heart part of the toggle clasp, there we go. Then this can be discarded. And that was the old one, and that can be discarded as well. So here's what we have, and we're going to leave this the same. I don't want to make any changes to it. I liked wearing it just as it was, so I'm going to get a piece of wire. I always like to make sure I have more than enough because you can make mistakes. Put this back into its bag so it don't unravel. There we go. Then we'll take this in, and I'm going to put it into the spring clamp. Then I'm going to set this here and move this up. I'm going to set this here, and this is where I like to take my round ones and put over it to hold it in place, just like that. Now, here's what I was thinking. Let me get my tweezers. I'm not going to use all of these different seed beads. I thought these ones came as close as I'm going to get, and so I am going to pick them out. But this necklace was a little bit tighter, really tighter. And so I think I'm going to have to, I think this one is smaller than what I want to use. Well, that one already has two on it. So I would just leave them like they are. There's no reason for me to mess with those. And I'm thinking I want to take 8 on each side, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 2 there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Another one of these can be used. 8. And I think, right, I'm going to go 4 and 4, and I'm going to squeeze one of these in there. 4 and 4. And that's kind of like going to keep it pretty close to what's going on with it already, at least in theory. So let's get these 4 on first. These 8. That's going to add like an inch on each side. This was really super snug. It really was choking me. It was living up to its name. It was tight when I first purchased it years ago, but it was manageable. It felt snug, not tight, years ago, but it was manageable. But over time, I noticed I was wearing it less and less, even though I loved it, and I have earrings that correspond with it. Doesn't match, corresponds. And I was wearing earrings, but I would pass over this necklace. And then one day, after not wearing it for about a year, I got it out, and then it was just way, way too tight. I felt like I was literally had a vice around my neck, and that dawned on me. That's the reason why I quit wearing it, is because it was so tight. And necks grow, not necklaces. So I knew I needed to do something. So I went to see. So that's going to give me right around 2 inches on each side. And I think that is going to do it. Okay, we'll see. So now it doesn't matter how we go. We know it's silver, green, silver, green. So we'll just follow in that pattern. We're not putting a charm back on. And this is moss agate. Moss agate works on the heart chakra, which can help you balance emotions. And also, agate also works on the cause of a situation. On the cause of a situation, helps you to get to the root cause of it. Agate's also your energy mover. And moss agate is also a prosperity and abundant stone. So, if you're using it to work on the cause of a situation, financial hardship, and you're using it to move energy, creating new opportunities, then you're using it as abundance to bring in extra cash flow, then you have a win-win situation working with moss agate as a talisman necklace, intention necklace, and talisman. Talismans mean to bring in. Amulets protect against. So if you were protecting yourself against negative energy, then you could enchant this. That's where I got that string on me. Look, it's stuck. You can enchant this as an amulet. But why is that sticking on me? It's that kind of thread that I had to cut off. I can't stand that stuff. Um, But if you're using it to draw energy in, such as prosperity and abundance, then absolutely it would be a talisman. Either can be a natural curio or a created um, piece. This is kind of like combining both of those elements, as moss agate is a natural curio. It is a stone, but when you take it and now you're adding it to create a beautiful piece of jewelry, then it becomes man-made, created. See how those work right in with that? That works. That is blending well in with this moss agate. This emerald green is kind of like just blending on in. So I think we made the right choice there. That was a happy find. When I picked out those stones, it was not intentional to work with this, but it was a happy find, and one I'm very happy that we stumbled upon because it works well. We have a lot of these little bitty beads, these little discs, and these little spacers, and it continues. But you know, we're halfway there because this is the halfway point. But like I said, I do not want to put any type of a charm on this. And the reason being is because the necklace will shift in turn. And as it shifts in turn, I don't want a charm to turn sideways on me. Now we're going to continue here with the spacer and then the moss agate disc. But yeah, moss agate is really a powerful stone. It's good for helping you to ground your emotions. And it's good for you to decipher, if you're an empath, which emotions may be of your own or may not be. A lot of people overlook moss agate. It's also a grounding stone. It can help you ground and connect easy to the energy of Mother Earth. And that is one reason why I love this necklace so much. I am an earth element. I am a Capricorn. And so having stones to represent that connection to the earth really does help me, well, to ground and connect more to the earth. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her as she does take care of us. So, but for a minute, that one didn't have a hole. So a friend of ours, a dear neighbor, her air conditioner, her small one that she had in her second bedroom, went out. And she was trying to cool it with a fan, and it was the cord. And she had some gentleman over helping her, and he cleaned it real well. But he wanted to take another cord and put on it from something else, like cut a outdoor utility cord, extension cord, like they use on the job site. And I didn't trust it. When she told me the air conditioner was 50 years old, I was like, oh no, that is not good. That's not safe. And at my store, I had a 5,000 BTU air conditioner that we bought brand new 2 years ago. Put it in a window in my store. It was on, and it was in that window for about 4 hours, and it didn't even try to cool it down in the early morning hours. And then we looked it up, and my store was too big. My store needed a bigger unit. So my husband went and bought me a bigger unit, and we put that one on the shelf. Well, I told him I wish we could find someone who could use this. I need it out of my way, but I don't throw away good. So it sat there for a couple of more months until yesterday I got out and I walked around the yard and I seen what was going on next door. And I said, hey, what's up? And she kind of told me, and I said, okay. So I called my husband. I said, hey, when you're done, can you run by my store and get that air conditioner off the shelf? A neighbor could use it. And he did. And we just gave it to her. She says, you're giving this to me? And we said, yes, of course. We can't use it. It's been sitting there. You can use it. And that's where we come from. You know, some people still believe that you do help your neighbors, and we honestly do believe that if you're in a position where you can help, like we had that air conditioner, yes, it was still new, brand new, still in the box, still on the shelf, but we couldn't use it. So passing it on to somebody who could, that was the right thing to do. Okay, I'm moving this out of the way now. Let me have these two because we will be using those. The reason why I'm moving is so you can see it a little bit better. Now we have strung this. We have put on these in the back, but these work because it's in the back, and the beauty of the original necklace is still in the front. Now I want to see if this is going to work for me. If I hold that there, where is it? That is going to be perfect. So adding about these 2 inches on each side was perfect for me. I'm not going to put another silver here, and the reason being is because that is where I'm going to crimp it up. So, so I am just so grateful she could use it. It had a good home to go to. I am just grateful how that worked out. And in return, she comes over and she brings me 2 aloe vera plants. Now, mind you, 2 years ago, little over 2 years, we've been here for 4 years, 3 years ago, she threw this piece of an aloe vera plant across her fence into my yard. And I picked, my husband says, what's that? I said, that's aloe vera that our neighbor threw in our yard. When we was walking out in the yard, he goes, oh, why did she do that? I said, because I guess she's giving me a piece of it. He says, that thing looks disgusting. It looks like a weed. I said, no, it's aloe vera. And I said, it just needs a little trimming, TLC, and it can be stuck right in the ground. So we took it over to the side, and I have to admit, it looked horrid. It did. You could tell where pieces was all cut off of it and everything, and it turned brown, and it just looked horrid. But I don't waste anything, so I walked over to the side of my house, and I just dropped it on the sand. And I told it, if you take root, you have a home, but if you don't, oh well. That sucker is so big now, it's not even funny. It took root. It has shot up a stalk with flowers on it twice already. And I got burned, got a good burn on my hand. And a friend of mine went and cut me off a piece off the lower level. And we put that aloe on there. And boy, it stopped burning right away. But then I had this big old leaf of aloe. And someone says, well, put it in your refrigerator. And I'm like, I don't think so. Can anyone else use it? And they say, yes, we can. So I give it to someone else. We put it in a plastic bag and they took it home, put it in their refrigerator. And they've used it since then quite a few times. And I'm like, this is amazing. You know, but my mom always had aloe around. And my husband says, yeah, his mom always sweared by it too, but it didn't look disgusting like that one. But now it's a beautiful plant. It's already budded off a baby. It's growing next to it and has gotten quite big. So she gives me 2 more pieces, bigger than that first piece she gave me. And I know it was her way of saying thank you. She doesn't have a whole lot of money. And those were ways of saying thank you. So I took them over there and we dug a little hole and we plopped the roots down, spaced them out from that first one next to the cactus she gave me. She gave me a little piece of a cactus leaf. And she goes, oh, just stick it into the ground. I said, sure thing. And I did, just like the yellow. I just stuck it down in there. I said, if you live, okay. If you don't, well, that's been a year. And now it's grown. But we had to, a leaf of it got knocked off by the weed eater. I wasn't happy about that. One of the brown, was not happy about that. But my husband took it and stuck it in the ground. So when we went to plant the aloe yesterday that was stuck in the ground, he goes, it's not doing anything. And I just stuck it in the ground. So I'm just going to pull it up, throw it away. Well, he went to go pull it up, and that sucker went and coming up. It was like saying, already took root. You're going to leave me alone. I'm going to do my thing. And I told him, I said, just leave it alone. We'll plant the aloe down here. So then she brought me over a couple of others that's got to be planted in the ground. But I got to make room in my garden beds now. And they were starts. And I'm thankful. And she says, when these really go up and these bloom and everything, they're going to draw butterflies. Like butterflies. That's the reason why we have no mow May. In the month of May, we mow one time. Yes, my neighbors does not like that. But it's for the bees, don't you know? We leave the wildflowers, the dandelions, the spiderworts, and those funny little white daisies. We leave them growing in the yard. We don't cut them down because they are for the bees. But no mow May is past, and we mowed, and we got to mow again, but we only mow once every 2 weeks. So if you don't like that, then you probably don't want to come to my house. But please understand, I live in Florida. There we go. Look how we did this. And these pieces, this green did work well. I am not at all unhappy with that. So now I need jumpers. Let's see. Okay. So let's get a couple of jumpers out. And then we will have this beautiful beauty put back together. And I have to tell you, I'm not going to hide it. I am excited. I am excited to see that this survived. I have to admit, I am excited that this survived. That we were able to make this survive. I'm really excited about that. I mean, because it could have gone on the vintage wall in the back for somebody else, but I really didn't want to do that with this piece. I was really hoping somehow I could redo it and keep it because I really do like it, and it was a gift from my husband to me. From some event that we had gone to, and I picked it up and I held it out, and I said, I really like this, and I complimented the lady who made it. And then he says, we'll be taking that one. He asked me, he goes, what stone is that? And I said, moss agate. And she goes, that's right. He goes, well, she knows her stones. Thank you for that compliment, sweetheart. And then he says, we'll be taking the moss agate. I looked at some other pieces and put them back down. Picked this one back up again. Just couldn't really make up my mind. So I put it back down for the final time. And he looked down. He picked it up. And he goes, we'll be taking this moss agate. He bought it for me, which he would have got it if I asked for it, but I wasn't sure. But he says, you went to it twice. And he goes, so I knew you really admired it. And I said, yes, I did. Here's, well, I wanted you to have it. So I do have it. And now I will have it again because we fixed it. When I say we, I say we because you're watching this with me. And I hope you are doing your own beautiful beading at the same time. So there we go. I want to take this out, and I'm going to see if it just I just want to let it entwine on its own. There we go. Now hook it back. Look at that. Look at that. I will let this hang out for a little bit. Looks like it might have trying to get a little bit of a curl in it. I will let it hang up. And the way I let mine hang up is I have one of those stand-up arm wires, and on the side it has places to hang necklaces, and I hang them this way. And I let the weight just pull down because it helps keep the wire nice and straight. So when you wear it, it will lay really pretty. So I am so happy that we got this one done. So this makes two that we've redone. If you look back to your original screenshot, we got the black, I think it's the black obsidian tiger's eye done. And now we have the moss agate done. And I am really, really tickled to death that we done this. So with that being said, if you will, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and notify on this video. And on a serious note, my friend, no matter where you are or what you're going to, if you just feel tired or depleted, hold on. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new beginning, and so much to look forward to. Things may not look so bleak in the morning. And with that being said, thank you for joining me on my beautiful bead journey. With much love and gratitude, my friends. Stay forever magical and blessed be.